In this movie, a research center is shown at the beginning. A girl named Elizabeth is seen there. It was her first day at this research center. She was a nurse by profession. She is now introduced to Dr. West. Dr. West shows Elizabeth the entire research center. Then Dr. West tells her, "Our first subject who is not yet conscious. It will be revived within the next 24 hours. You will have to take care of him from all sides in order to please him forever." So Elizabeth agrees to all instructions from Dr. West. After that, the plot of the film moves to the past. The year is 2015. The character Marc is seen in the past where his doctor informs him that he is suffering from cancer and is in the last stage. Now he has only 1 year to live. When Marc hears this, he is very shocked. Marc can be seen standing on the road with his parked car. Then a friend of Marc's comes there, who recently knew about his condition. While hugging him, she says she won't be able to live without him. So she organizes a dinner with all his friends to please Marco. But nothing affected Marco. He woke up, and he moves to his room to get the tablet. Now Marc is coming back. After returning, he shows all his friends an article written 7 years ago. It shows that some scientists have created a bio-artificial heart. In that article it was written, they will conduct another experiment on human beings, through which human organs can be created. Now Marc must live long. So he decides that it will be moved into frozen cryostasis after all assets are sold. He then wakes up in his future, so future scientists might revive it. With the help of technology, they will be able to bring him back to life, which will be more advanced in the future. On the other hand, Naomi is not at all satisfied with the decision of Marc. She wanted Marc to be able to continue his treatment with a doctor. Marc says about it, "My father also suffered from cancer. He was also under the care of a doctor. Still, he didn't survive, and I don't want to die like him." One of his friends says about it, "A doctor can walk you through this process even after you die." Now Marc was thinking about it too. He says he will kill himself. Thanks to this, doctors will get the right legally, put his body in cryostasis. It will then appear again in the future, where Dr. West created the human body through his technology. After this time when Dr. West created a human with his technology, his eyes can be seen in the process of opening. Here it is revealed, this man is none other than Marc, who the doctors transferred into a new body from an old one while regenerating his cells, to resurrect him, in the same way that a cord is attached to a newborn baby. Now there was also a cord stuck like a baby on Marc's belly, through which food can be delivered to Marc. If this cord, like a pipe, separates from his body, then he only survives for a few hours. After that, the doctors give Marc the device there, so in this they can restore his past memories, which the doctors wanted to show to the whole world. Because Marc was the person who was revived. Sister Elizabeth was also seen at the beginning of the film. Now she has to take care of Marco for 100 days. Now Marc has to stay in one room for 100 days. The days go by gradually. Marco's condition was improving, but Marc felt lonely because he was alone. Now he missed his past life, the time he spent with Naomi, the time of his rejoicings and parties with friends. Marc thought about his future, that his life would be the best, but nothing like that was happening in his future. In fact, he could feel the support of anyone walking. In this way, time passes gradually. His 100 days are fulfilled, and Dr. West brings his whole team to Marc to celebrate this good fortune. Marc also gets an old box where his old stuff was stored. Now Marc was recalling all his old memories and glimpsed them. You will also find one of Naomi's letters here. He gives the letter to Elizabeth to read. She reads it to him where Naomi wrote it. She is deeply in love with him. Marc was asleep, but Naomi's condition is worse without him. When Naomi reached the age of 50, then she also decided to freeze her body in cryostasis, through which she wanted to restart her life with Marc. He is so sad when he hears the letter statements in Naomi's letter. He thinks how selfish he was. Now he asks the doctor, and it moves to where Naomi's body was placed. Marc starts asking the doctor, revive Naomi like before, like he was revived. But doctors forbid it. The doctor tells him, when they put Naomi's body in cryostasis, then her body was even weaker, so they can't reanimate her body with their technology. When Marc heard this, he blamed him for Naomi being in this state now. He is more sad, so his condition is getting worse. Now all the doctors there observed the changing behavior of Marco, and they discussed it. Elizabeth suggests to the doctors they should allow Marc to leave the research center. He can forget about Naomi, observing the outside world. But the doctors replied, we will have to give Marco some time, so he can get out of the memories of Naomi with his own help. But Elizabeth was also somehow attracted to Marc, and she cared too much for him. One day Marc steals the key to the keys from Dr. West's room after he leaves. Moving to his room, he discovers Dr. West's mind-reading device. When he shoves his device with him, he begins to see old memories of Dr. West and all the experiments he did in his life. And Marc is revealed here that Dr. West has done many experiments on humans before, but all the experiments of Dr. West were foiled. Dr. West revived people, but there was much weakness in their bodies. Because of this, these subjects were dead. Fortunately, the experiment performed on Marc was a success, and nothing happened to him. Marc comes to meet Dr. West, and he said to him when he came there, "You are responsible for the death of all subjects," on which Dr. West performed all the experiments. Dr. West admits all his mistakes. After some time, Marc will again move to the cryostasis chamber of Naomi. Elsbeta is also approaching there. Marc tells her about his old memories, how he took his own life before going into cryostasis, and he took poison. He further tells her he never thought about his future life as such, as this future life proceeded, and the life he has been granted is completely unique from his previous life. Now he is asking for help from Elizabeth, so he can get rid of this pain after taking his own life. But Elizabeth forbids him while crying, because Elizabeth also started loving Marc somehow. When Marc returns to his room, then Elizabeth also hugs him and comes to him, and he will also tell him the name of the medicine in his ear. If he takes it, he will suffer an easy death. Now Marc goes to the laboratory of the research institute, and he starts looking for the said cure Elizabeth in that place. He sees his flashback when he takes the poison medicine, where he also ended his life after consuming poison. He takes the bottle and comes to the cryostasis chamber Naomi again. He takes the poison medicine and recalls all his memories. It also disconnects the cryostasis chamber, so Naomi will also become part of these futile experiments if she is revived. Now he was sitting in that place waiting for his death. It is then shown at the end of the film. In front of Marco, when he opened his eyes, were all the doctors. Dr. West tells him, "You didn't lose your life to cancer, so you took life, you took poison for your next life, so don't spoil your second life now. Scientific technology has given you another chance to survive, and you can't miss this chance." And the film ends here on this scene.